A news-style celebrity autobiographies have two things in common. They are available in all manner of retail outlets, and none of them was actually written by the person whose name appears on the cover. Ghostwriters, who used to be rather looked down upon in the industry, are well on the way to becoming the dominant literary figures of our time. According to Lucy Cave, who wrote the autobiography of a Big Brother winner, all of these people who emerge from shows like Big Brother know just how much they can sell their first interview for. They're far more clued up than ever before. The celebrity autobiography is a natural extension of that. It's become the must-have accessory for anyone who's reached a certain level of fame. Obviously, these people can't write their books themselves, so they need someone to do it for them. And yet only a few years ago, publishers regularly turned up their noses at celebrity autobiographies on the grounds that they were either too downmarket or wouldn't sell. But now they're all in on the act, from the loftiest to the lowliest. So, what happened to cause such a massive shift in attitude? To answer that question, we need to follow a trail that leads back to the British celebrity model Jordan. In November 2003, some very unlikely-looking people came to see the publisher John Blake at his London office. Blake's company specializes in the stack 'em high showbiz end of the market. A succession of what looked like wide boys turned up, all of them covered in gold chains, he recalls. They said, "Do you want to do Jordan's book? We want £1 million up front and none of this nonsense about royalties." Amused but far from tempted, Blake declined, assuming that would be that. But still Jordan's people continued calling him up periodically. Eventually, after every other publisher had turned the book down, Blake signed Jordan and her ghostwriter, Rebecca Farnworth, for a comparatively low fee of £10,000. "Can't say we had a great deal of faith in the book," he recalls. Being Jordan came out on a Thursday in May. By Saturday it had sold 100,000 copies, beating other celebrity autobiographies such as Bill Clinton's My Life hands down and outselling that week's #1 novel by 10 to 1. "It was amazing," Blake remembers. "Everyone concerned was overjoyed. Everyone, that is, except for Jordan herself, who took the whole thing in her stride. I don't think she actually read the book. For her it was just like doing another calendar or a magazine shoot." It was at this point that the rest of the book trade belatedly roused itself from its stupor and took notice. "There had definitely been a lot of snobbery about these sorts of books before," says Ben Dunn, editorial director at Fourth Estate. But what was extraordinary was that the people buying the Jordan book weren't traditional book buyers. You had a situation where people were tossing paperbacks into their supermarket trolleys along with packets of biscuits. Suddenly, there were whole new marketing possibilities waiting to be tapped. When the market exploded, so the ghostwriter's profile within the book trade, and in several cases their bank balances, exploded with it. The man widely credited with taking greatest advantage of a changing climate is the veteran journalist Hunter Davies, the author of some 40 books, including footballer Wayne Rooney's autobiography My Story So Far. "The most important thing of all in ghosting," says Davies, "is getting the voice right. However, you're not necessarily trying to get their real voice, but rather the voice that people perceive as belonging to them. For instance, with Wayne, we all knew that he's only young and had virtually no education, so had to keep it relatively simple. The result, while hardly introspective, did afford readers a glimpse of life inside Wayne's head." Another very successful ghostwriter says, "You're not their friend, but you must have an equality of relationship that makes it appear that you are, nor are you their personal assistant, although if they ask you to do anything for them, you'll do it, because any use of the word no could result in them getting shirty." The new celebrity autobiographies may not be high art, but the most successful ones deliver an alluring mix of scandal, confession, hardship and glamour. Mark McCrum is one of the new breed of ghostwriters. When he wrote Robbie Williams's Somebody Someday, and in the process redefined for the profession what a ghosted autobiography could be, he was one of several would-be ghosts who were interviewed for the job. As he says, "Elle found it very difficult at first, it was always rather formal, a bit like interviewing royalty. Then, right at the end, he opened up about his life and really felt that I'd bonded with him." But whatever else ghostwriters might be in it for, it's not the glory if they're lucky. They might get a credit, although this is likely to be buried away in such tiny print that you'd be lucky to find it without a magnifying glass.